The Arizona Senate votes to repeal that 1864 abortion ban, expected to be signed by Governor Katie Hobbs now, returning the state to the 15-week abortion ban, but it could take a while.
Yeah, and it's not going to go into effect until 90 days after the legislature adjourns. Now, with a 16-14 vote, lawmakers repealed the territorial ban, the Senate. That followed by the House, which gave its approval last week. The 1864 law is set to take effect at the end of June. The only exception is to save the life of the mother, and doctors could face prison time for performing an abortion.
Two Republican lawmakers joined Democrats in repealing that law. T.J. Shope of Coolidge and Shauna Bullock of Phoenix. Bullock's husband is Clint Bullock, one of the 4 Arizona Supreme Court justices who ruled that the 1864 law was enforceable, that it was still on the books and had never been properly repealed. State senators gave emotional and passionate speeches during today's vote on the Senate floor.
It is not my job as a state senator to determine when a child's heart stops beating, and with that I vote no.
We as Republicans gave up on the marriage issue. What does the Bible say about marriage? Now we're being asked to give up on the life issue. And I'll guarantee you it'll be the pedophilia issue next.
It is disgusting that this is the state of the Republican Party today. I proudly vote no on this atrocious motion.
The majority of the people in this state believe that abortion is a decision that belongs to patients and providers. The trend towards legislating religious beliefs in this state is dangerous, and it should make everybody nervous, regardless of their faith.
Fox 10's Brian Webb has been at the Capitol all day. He's live now with more. Brian.
Well, Senate Republicans complained of being rolled today. In other words, insisting that this was pushed through without proper consideration and debate, but mostly upset that 2 of their own voted with the other side.
I want to protect our state constitution.
Shouts coming from the balcony. At least 3 pro-life activists escorted out. But most of the fireworks came from the Senate floor.
Please misjudge me and call me somebody who wants to oppress women, because I would much rather be thought of as a male chauvinist than as a baby killer.
I'm not afraid of the abortions that I had. I do not fear for my soul. They were the right decisions for me, and I don't have to follow your religion in this country.
One by one, Republicans explained why they want to keep the 1864 law, reading Bible verses, calling abortion murder, playing a recording of a child's heartbeat in the womb, and insisting rape and incest are not sufficient reasons.
I have compassion for a woman who's been raped or incest. I have compassion for that. But I cannot go against my core value of life.
Republicans T.J. Shope and Shauna Bullock voted with Democrats. Bullock told several stories of difficult pregnancies and a miscarriage, personal accounts to show all pregnancies are not the same.
Many women don't have textbook pregnancies, while many women wish they could have a baby. I know the chronicles of these pregnancies quite intimately because they're all my own. And my family lived and survived each one of them, including my miscarriage.
Again, the final vote today in the state Senate 16-14, but this issue is far from over in Arizona. Both Republicans and Democrats plan to put the abortion issue on the November ballot. Live at the state capitol, Brian Webb, Fox 10 News.
Brian, thank you. Democrats and abortion advocates are applauding lawmakers who repealed the 1864 abortion ban.
They spoke outside the Capitol after today's vote.
When Trump orchestrated the end of Roe v. Wade, and when Doug Ducey packed the courts with the confirmation and approval of every Republican legislator, Republican politicians worked overtime to block access to abortion care nationwide and in Arizona. We are ready to elect reproductive freedom champions up and down the ticket, pass the ballot initiative in Arizona, and ensure the federal right to abortion for everybody so everyone can have the care that they need.
Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs said, quote, "I am glad to see the Senate answered my call and voted to repeal the 1864 total abortion ban. While this is essential to protecting women's health, it's just the beginning. I will never stop fighting for women's reproductive freedoms."
In a statement, Kathy Herod, the president of the Conservative Center for Arizona Policy, says in part, "I acknowledge and commend the courage of those lawmakers who stood with the unborn and their mothers. This repeal leads to the loss of innocent lives and potentially causes long-term physical and emotional harm to women. Now, in Arizona, our focus is to expose and defeat the extreme abortion amendment likely to be on the November ballot." Outside the state capitol, opponents of abortion gathered, and they rallied support for lawmakers who voted to keep the 1864 abortion ban in place.
The group Arizona for Abortion Access says now that it has more than enough signatures to get the abortion issue on the ballot in November. This is a state constitutional amendment. It has a July 3rd deadline to turn in the necessary qualifying signatures.
In a statement, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays says in part, today's vote by the Arizona Senate to repeal the draconian 1864 abortion ban is a win for freedom in our state. However, without an emergency clause that would allow the repeal to take effect immediately, the people of Arizona may still be subjected to the near total abortion ban for a period of time this year. Rest assured, my office is exploring every option available to prevent the outrageous 160-year-old law from ever taking effect.
Stay with Fox 10 for continuing coverage of the latest developments on the abortion debate in Arizona. We've got it on air and online.